Victorians loved morbid photography. Beheaded portraits with people holding their own severed heads were popular photo illusions in the 1800s. Punishment for drunkenness in Chechnya, 1990. School bus, 1930s, USA. Japanese gangsters, Yakuza, 1960. A destitute family during the Great Depression living in a landfill, Illinois, 1939. Freak Show, 1924, USA. Ringling Brothers in Barnum and Bailey Circus. Corporal Adil Sahin and Lieutenant Hall, the last living Turkish and Australian participants of the Battle of Gallipoli, at the very spot where they tried to kill each other 75 years before this meeting, 1990. Men in a Bear pulling a car out of the mud, Russia, 1987. The opening of the first Starbucks in 1971. A Parisian after visiting a bar, 1954. Night fishing in Hawaii, where bright lights attract fish to the shallows, 1968. Those saved by Oskar Schindler and their children at his grave in the Catholic cemetery on Mount Zion in Jerusalem, 1993. Unique 1944 photo of the Normandy landing by military cyclists. Architects present models of the World Trade Center, USA, 1964. Zulu King Cetshwayo aboard the ship that brought him to Cape Town after the defeat of the Zulus, 1879. A German soldier returns home and discovers that his house and family are no longer there. Frankfurt, 1946. A vampire hunting kit, 19th century. Among the first 15 Roman emperors, only Claudius did not have love affairs with men. This was considered unusual behavior and ridiculed by poets and writers who said that loving only women made Claudius effeminate. This is exactly how toilets were designed in the Middle Ages. On July 20th, 1924, a game of living chess was held in Palace Square, USSR, Russia. Listening booths for vinyl records, 1950s. Many music stores offered a special booth where customers could listen to records before buying. In the late 19th century, scientific progress was astounding the world. A simple cleaning lady from the USA was so inspired by this that she bequeathed herself to science. There were also brothels and concentration camps, and very often, the girls were abused by other women, such as the commandant's wives, simply for pleasure. American cavalrymen by the giant sequoia, grizzly giant. Strangely enough, no one cut this tree down, and it still exists today. USA, 1900. American Red Cross collects donations using a vacuum cleaner, New York, World War I. A working woman from a textile plant confronts police during a labor dispute over the closure of the factory. Spain, 1986. A 120-ton silver nugget, British Columbia, 1892. Residents of the Czech city of Ash greet German troops, 1938. A rough morning, 1954. Fake heads used during the famous escape from Alcatraz in 1962 were made from wax and left in beds so that the guards wouldn't notice their absence. 3 prisoners escaped the island on a homemade raft. They were never found, and it is believed they likely drowned in the waters of San Francisco Bay. A roller coaster ride in the Victorian era, USA, 1900. Cancer treatment equipment, mid-20th century. A shell carrier, Nigerian Civil War, 1968. Sophia Loren disapprovingly looks at Jane Mansfield's exposed chest, 1960s. A Dallas police officer holds the rifle that, according to the investigation, was used to kill John Kennedy, 1963. Doctors perform artificial respiration on a drowning victim while a woman in a swimsuit poses, New York, 1940. On April 15, 1989, one of the most horrific tragedies in the history of English football occurred. 94 Liverpool fans were crushed to death, and 766 others were injured at Hillsborough Stadium during an FA Cup semi-final match against Nottingham Forest. A girl from Arizona writes a letter to her sailor boyfriend in the U.S. Navy, thanking him for sending a Japanese skull, 1944. Gadget to hide facial expressions while playing poker, 1937. Before retreating from Kuwait in 1991, Iraqi troops, on Saddam Hussein's orders, set fire to about 700 oil wells. Toxic smog hung over the Persian Gulf for nearly a year. Oil rains fell on resorts in Turkey and the UAE. 1 billion barrels of oil burned in the Kuwaiti desert. Adolf Hitler visits the Dresden Exhibition of Degenerate Art, 1935. In the Middle Ages, the wedding night was a public event. Toy factory workers painting dolls' faces, 1950s. It's believed many employees were deaf-mute, often hired in such industries. Rock carvings by Australian Aborigines, estimated to be about 40,000 years old. In 1961, the U.S. Air Force accidentally dropped 2 nuclear bombs on Goldsboro, North Carolina. One bomb nearly detonated, which could have caused an explosion 260 times more powerful than Hiroshima. Evening at the Pyramids, around 1897. Ethel Granger from the UK, the woman with the world's smallest waist, 1939. She was entered into the Guinness Book of Records for her 13-inch waist. According to eyewitnesses, she did this to please her husband. Anti-Reagan poster, widely circulated in 1984. A Vietnamese child and his father, who was accused of aiding North Vietnamese partisans, 1966. 18-year-old Arnold Schwarzenegger with his classmate, 1965. French police show the way to entering the German Wehrmacht in Paris. In 1945, France would become one of the victorious countries. A village paramedic with a patient, 29 years old at the time of the photo, Russian Empire. The Guinness World Record for childbirth belongs to a Russian peasant woman living 200 years ago. Fyodor Vasiliev's wife gave birth 69 children in 27 pregnancies. She had twins 16 times, triplets 7 times, and quadruplets 4 times. The demise of the largest dirigible, the Hindenburg, marking the end of the dirigible building era. USA, 1937. The removal of the bodies of Adolf Hitler and Eva Braun from the bunker, 1945. Scientists from the University of Michigan conduct an experiment on themselves to study the effect of alcohol on the human body. Photos from 1949. The Great Wall of China is regretfully called the longest cemetery in the world. Thousands of people are buried inside it. They died carrying enormous boulders to construct the wall. This is a screenshot from the 1970s show The Dating Game. The man circled is serial killer Rodney Alcala. He became the winner of the show, but the woman refused to go on a date with him. Imagine how lucky she was. Repairing faults on the Graf Zeppelin airship during a flight, 1934. This photograph, taken in 1936, became a symbol of the Great Depression in popular culture. Post-mortem photography, late 19th century. The mother and father are blurred. Their daughter is not. She's dead, but they wanted to capture her as a memory. After the discovery of radioactivity, many manufacturers began adding new, miraculous substances to consumer goods. In the first half of the 20th century, radioactive bread, toothpaste, cosmetics, and bath salts were produced in different countries. Some products were even named after radium because of the trend. A car powered by charcoal, Japan, 1945. Testing of an atomic bomb visible from Las Vegas, 1950s. Puffy the cat, believed to have hypnotized over 300 people with her huge, unblinking eyes, 1944. British soldiers suppress a rebellion in Kenya, 1955. Police officers with batons disperse white segregationists who attacked African Americans attempting to swim in the ocean, Florida, 1964. This is a warning from a Ku Klux Klan member to African American residents of a Miami neighborhood who were expected to participate in the elections, May 1939. The message that killer William George Hayrens wrote in lipstick on the wall of one of his victims' apartments. "For heaven's sake, catch me before I kill more. I cannot control myself." 1945. A poignant Victorian-era photo of a sleeping baby in the arms of its mother, who died during childbirth. Protest against the Vietnam War, Italy, 1970. This cage, known as a mort safe, appeared in 18th century Scotland. Medical students were digging up graves for practice, so families installed these heavy iron grates to protect their deceased relatives. This is a room full of participants in the 1980 Space Invaders World Championship. Even with a lawnmower in line, the fuel crisis in the USA, 1973. The Football War, 1969, a 6-day military conflict between El Salvador and Honduras. The pretext for the war was the loss of the Honduran team to the Salvadoran team in the playoff matches of the World Cup qualifying stage. The musicians who played on the Titanic until the very end, 1912. Halloween, 1930s. Creepy children's costumes before the rise of mass culture. The holiday was genuinely eerie. Women's wrestling, 1954. An artificial tree used by the British Army as an observation point during World War I. A seller of intimate wigs, New York, 1860. Prostitutes would remove hair from intimate areas to avoid pubic lice. Accessories like these helped them hide venereal diseases from clients. The first pubic wigs appeared for sale in the 1450s. Kashmir Giants with traveler Professor Rickleton, India, 1903. During the casting for the lead role in the horror film The Shadow of the Cat, 1961. Advertisement for children's cocaine drops for tooth pain. Instant effect, and only 15 cents. Jail cell where Salem witches were kept, circa 1692. Under the supervision of Turkish army officers, Kurdish children write on a blackboard, "How happy is he who calls himself a Turk?" A penguin concert during Shackleton's expedition, Ross Ice Shelf, Antarctica, summer 1908. The paradox was that the penguins only reacted to classical music. 1900s jazz did not interest them. The birds reacted most keenly to the violin. Metallica performs a concert at San Quentin Prison, California, 2003. A man asking for help from a passing car during the brutal genocide in Rwanda, 1994. The steam vibrator. This is the world's first steam-powered vibrator, designed by American Dr. George Taylor in 1869. Dr. Taylor used it to treat female hysteria. French colonial officers of the Ivory Coast. Today, the country is referred to by the French name Côte d'Ivoire to avoid reminders of what the French were really after. Ghana, 1915. Passers-by study a new map of Europe after World War I, 1918. In October 2012, Peruvian military caught a giant flying fox that was terrifying the local population. Its wingspan reached 2 meters. Strongman Stefan shows his strength by pulling a car through the streets of Berlin with his teeth. 1925. American obscurantism, 1873. On the right with hipster mustache, Adolf Hitler himself. Photo taken around 1916. Dolphin hunters in the Black Sea, USSR, 1947. Dolphin meat was sold on post-war store shelves. The USSR ceased dolphin hunting in 1966. A priest reads prayers over the bodies of Titanic victims aboard a British ship, North Atlantic, 1912. In Tibet, a woman with more than 10 men was considered a desirable bride. Virgins were forbidden from marrying. Marco Polo said that Tibetan girls easily gave themselves to foreigners. A rare photograph of the cruel tyrant George Harry Galt, a British colonial officer who arrived in Ibanda in 1905. Sometime later, one of the weary Ugandans named Rutaraka would kill him. In the 1960s, Boeing nearly went bankrupt before realizing it needed to carry more passengers on smaller planes. Whether this clip sparked joy, anger, or just a bit of annoyance, I want to hear your thoughts below. Stick around for part 2 coming soon. Please hit like and subscribe to support the channel. See you!